Tonight on CBC Vancouver News.
Wheels up. As Air Canada reaches a tentative agreement with the flight attendants union to get planes back in the skies, some travelers' patience takes a nosedive.
We are constantly looking to see if it's time to check in and looking to see if our flight is canceled. And then some of us are just looking for a flight, and then what pops up is no flights available.
Plus, calls for a housing reset. More than 24 housing experts pitch their ideas to the province to make homes more affordable.
This is the perfect time to invest in homes that ordinary people can afford over the long term.
Inside their proposal. And you've heard of a needle in a haystack, but what about a diamond in the dump?
She asked me, she's like, where's my rings? I'm like, I don't know.
A Mission man's effort to retrieve his wife's wedding rings leads to a Mission landfill.
This is CBC Vancouver News.
Hello, I'm Baneet Braich. Thank you for joining us. After days of uncertainty and travel chaos for nearly 500,000 passengers, a tentative deal has now been reached between Air Canada and the union that's representing flight attendants.
We're so happy that we finally reached this industry-leading deal that allows our flight attendants to be compensated for the important work, safety work, customer service work that they perform on the ground.
A major dispute was over unpaid work while planes are on the ground, such as time spent loading and unloading passengers. The agreement must still be ratified by its members, but Air Canada says flights are beginning to resume immediately with operations at full capacity within 7 to 10 days. So uncertainty still lingers, and CBC's Michelle Gassoub spoke with some passengers trying to salvage their travel plans.
My suitcase is packed. I'm definitely optimistic if my suitcase is packed.
It's been an emotional roller coaster for this Dragon Boat team. Their Air Canada flights to nationals in Montreal were cancelled on Monday. As of Tuesday, they're hopeful they can make it.
We are constantly looking to see if it's time to check in and looking to see if our flight is canceled. And then some of us are just looking for a flight, and then what pops up is no flights available. And that's the 2 golds.
The team needs 20 paddlers, a drummer, and a steersperson to make it across the country in order to compete and qualify for a chance to represent Canada on the world stage. While Air Canada and the union representing flight attendants reached a tentative deal, the airline warned it could take several days or longer for operations to get back to normal. And there could still be some cancellations in the coming days.
There are like 2 people going on Air Canada today. And like I said, my flight hasn't been canceled yet.
The airline says 5,000 additional staff are being brought in to help with rebookings. Still, would-be travelers are left with uncertainty, waiting to hear if their flights will take off.
Things are going to get back to normal, but there is a process. So please do be checking those flight schedules. Make sure your flight is actually operating when you think it is before you come to the airport.
This team says despite the ups and downs, as long as they can make it to Montreal, they'll be ready to compete no matter what.
And I have no doubt whatsoever that not only will we get in the zone, but we'll use it for energy when we're competing.
Paddling to the finish, but only after they taxi down the runway. Michelle Gassoub, CBC News, Vancouver.
When it comes to BC's high housing costs, a joint letter by 27 experts is calling on the province to make housing more affordable. Alana Kelly breaks down their ideas and the urgency behind them.
I love those. Going up here and here. New homes are being built in BC, but are they helping to solve BC's housing crunch? A group of professors, architects, and planners say they have solutions needed now and have written the province with a plan.
A lot of these decisions are going to really affect the population and the citizenry for decades. So it's important to take this slow and do this right.
The letter advises the province to build more affordable, livable housing rather than building the wrong kinds of housing.
So think of small, very expensive high-end condos in high-end towers that replace older affordable rental buildings, for example.
They want new homes that serve real people, not just the markets now.
BC is really at a crossroads. The housing market is cooling, and governments are currently deciding what to do, whether to double down on speculative or higher cost models that really historically haven't delivered affordability, or to shift towards a more lasting community-based solution.
We're legalizing more types of homes across BC for families and reducing costs to build those badly needed homes, and we're investing to preserve existing affordable housing.
The letter has 6 key points, including pairing housing prices to local incomes, incentivizing homeowners to create secondary suites, and stopping foreign capital from inflating prices again.
We're not trying to, get rid of developers as a whole, and that's definitely not what we're saying. But what we are trying to say is that there are a number of different ways to densify and to provide these types of housing.
The experts behind the letter want a meeting with the province to drive home their strategies and to discuss how the housing ministry could take advantage of them while the market is cool. Elena Kelly, CBC News, Vancouver.
For a couple in Mission, losing their wedding rings in the trash was a heartbreaking situation. Then they found themselves following a very smelly trail of clues. As Kier Junos reports, the search took commitment and some neighborly help.
Well, you've heard of diamonds in the rough, but what about diamonds in the dump? After a Mission couple's movie date ended with some wedding rings missing in a bag of popcorn, the trail of the missing jewelry led them to this steaming pile of compost. Married to his wife Janine for 26 years, Steve Van Ijseldijk wasn't about to let stinky piles of rotting waste stop him from retrieving the symbol of their affection, possibly buried here at the Mission landfill. He asks compost processor Denny Webster for some help.
I know exactly what bag they're in. I know what I'm looking for in regards to popcorn, and there's a Timbits box.
Webster was skeptical. He goes through dozens of trucks of waste every day, but Steve quickly showed he was very familiar with his trash.
And then I looked, I'm like, oh, there is a popcorn bag there. And then he did notice sausages in his, that was his as well. So then I thought, okay, maybe this man is legit.
But how did Steve figure the rings would even be at the dump? He and Janine were watching a movie at the Langley IMAX. Janine bought a big bag of popcorn home for her daughter, but it spills on the lawn as she gets out of the car. Using her jeweled hand, she cleans it up, brings it inside, everyone eats the popcorn, and the bag goes in the bin and out for morning compost pickup. The next evening,
we were out for dinner and I went to the washroom and I washed my hands and I looked down and said, where are my rings?
after checking multiple locations, Steve checked home security footage that showed the last time his wife was wearing the rings before concluding they were in the compost. The next morning, he's at the dump with Webster, who's using an excavator to scoop up piles of waste for Steve to trudge through. Thankfully, the smelly search didn't last long.
And then he found the ring fairly quickly, 15 minutes, I think, after finding the popcorn bag.
I called her when I found the first one. She was at Princess Auto buying a metal detector because I told her to go there. I found the second one and called her again, and she already bought the metal detector. But.
Hi, Janine. Nice to meet you.
Thank you so much for all your help.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome.
Proof that sometimes love is that deep.
Yeah, just one scoop at a time and picked it out. And
had my shovel.
Yeah, yeah. I felt sorry for the man, that's for sure.
Kier Junos, CBC News, Mission.
And earlier this year, crews working on the PNE's new amphitheater dug up some historical artifacts, a pair of 1870s cannons. A Vancouver historian believes they likely belonged to World War I reservists.
There used to be a ravine on the east side of the park, and there was a bit of high ground, and we have a photograph where it looks like it was in the newspaper, and it looks like that's where the guns were stored in the 1930s, and we think there's some more that might be down there.
The weapons are on display at the PNE this year, and they will be preserved and eventually placed at the Seaforth Highlanders Museum. Wildfire officials say the weekend's wet weather has helped tame an out-of-control wildfire burning just south of Port Alberni. The Mount Underwood fire has not grown since last Thursday. The Provincial Wildfire Service says it is not anticipating more growth, even with the return to hot weather. The positive outlook means the fire officials have begun thinking about letting people return to their homes.
With the rain and the fire behavior that we're seeing, we are in a position to be reevaluating the status of those evacuation orders and alerts. And from our perspective, we make those recommendations to local government.
The BC Wildfire Service warns the fire might be more visible later this week. The next update from officials will come Wednesday morning. And Wesley English joins us now with the weather forecast. Wesley, how are things looking?
Well, we have seen seasonal temperatures today, and we will continue to see near seasonal temperatures tomorrow, but we are on the cusp of a weather pattern change. Today around Metro Vancouver, we saw thin high clouds with some periods of sun. We'll take a look at the almanac to start. Today, it peaked at 22 degrees at YVR. Our seasonal average is 23 at this time of year. We are losing 3 minutes and 20 seconds of daylight per day at this time of year. We'll take a look at the upper level airflow. See that green on your screen? Well, that's the upper low, and it's going to be replaced by an upper ridge. That means we are going to see sunshine and hot conditions to almost all areas across BC by this weekend. Baneet.
All right. Thank you, Wesla. And inflation cooled in the month of July. That's according to the latest economic snapshot released by Statistics Canada. Scott Peterson has more on what's behind the drop.
Inflation is cooling, and that's a headline number, and that's a good thing, but it's really the price of gasoline falling really did a lot of the heavy lifting here as far as bringing the prices down. For example, energy costs, gasoline costs down 16% from this time last year. So this is such a big metric within the basket of goods that Statistics Canada looks for. This brought down the index in general, but there are some prices that are percolating still. We're seeing food prices, they're still rising month over month. Food purchase from stores, for example, rose at a faster rate in the month, 3.4% over this time last year. And when you dig into that, confectionery items up almost 12% from this time last year. Coffee almost up 29%. That's on the back of poor growing seasons in places where they're growing coffee. Fresh fruit as well, not to be left out, is up close to 4%. And also we're seeing grapes up close to 30%. Now in the last 5 years, Canadian consumers, according to StatsCan, are paying just over 27% more this July over they were 5 years ago in July. And another source of worry here is rising rent prices. Shelter costs up 3% in July over this time last year. And that's the first monthly increase in over a year.
There are two opposing factors here. One, the tariffs, they are raising prices broadly, but especially those for goods, that may be coming imported from the United States into Canada. Those may or may not be subject to counter tariffs as well. But also we have this potential downside impact on inflation as well, just because of the fact that demand is starting to slow. People are buying less and less stuff because things are getting more and more expensive, because there's all of this economic uncertainty, possibly job uncertainty as well.
When you strip out all the noisy things like gasoline and food, and that core rate is still at about 3%. That's on the high range of what Bank of Canada would like. And so there's some trepidation whether they're going to lower rates when they next meet September 17. So we'll see that, because there's a lot of economic reports saying that maybe the economy all by itself will slow and bring down prices, because overall the background here is that the rising threat of tariffs and the imposition of tariffs will rise prices. Scott Peterson, CBC News, Toronto.
Well, the Stanley Cup did not go to a Canadian NHL team this year. It has touched Canadian soil. Stanley Cup champion and Florida Panthers forward Sam Reinhart grew up in West Vancouver, and he actually brought the trophy home.
If you look at my career, it's the environment I've been in has allowed me to have this success. I think you look at my days in Buffalo and look at my days in Florida, and it's kind of a little bit of a contrast there, and I think that speaks to growing up in West Vancouver here.
He carried the cup on board a Royal Canadian Marine search and rescue boat for a water parade before arriving on shore for a celebration.
Your incredible dedication, your elite sportsmanship has set an example for all of the young people in our community.
And it was a deja vu experience, since the Florida Panthers also won the Stanley Cup last year. You might be familiar with throwing your food scraps into a green bin to be composted, but what about a whole animal carcass? After the break, how a Salt Spring Island facility is hoping to reduce waste.
This is Vancouver is a new CBC podcast where we explore the issues, the stories, and the people that make this place home. Listen to This is Vancouver wherever you get your podcasts.
One of BC's southern Gulf Islands is celebrating a big win in managing its waste. As Chad Poston reports, Salt Spring Island's new commercial composter means it can reduce greenhouse gas emissions.
In goes waste from a local meat processor, out comes a steaming hot rich soil booster. This is Salt Spring Island's new composter in action.
Make use of waste and not let it rot or create greenhouse gases, but make a valuable resource of it.
Before the composter, organic commercial waste from Salt Spring Island had to be buried in the ground or shipped off the island. Not ideal considering the financial and environmental cost.
We can slowly make a long list of successes that's coming out of this and the value add it's creating for the island.
Multiple community groups came together to try and create a composter and a way to run it. In 2023, they got a $170,000 boost from the province to help finally get a composter rolling. The Salt Spring groups then raised another $130,000 through federal and other grants, and now here they are, running the composter with solar power, taking in 20 tons of material a year, creating a soil amendment for now, with actual compost soon to come once the process is perfected.
The composter also currently can't accept food waste from local restaurants and grocers. For that to happen, local bylaws will need to change.
Local politicians say that could happen as early as this fall.
Our focus is to get this facility up and running, and there's not just the regulatory changes, the partnerships and all of that. It's actually getting the facility to produce a good quality compost. I believe that Salt Spring is the only local government within the regional district that is actually composting at this scale. So I do think we could provide a model.
The goal for the composter is to eventually divert 60 tons of waste a year and provide nearly 200 meters of compost that will be sold to run the project, which is already enhancing Salt Springs agriculture and making the island even greener. Chad Pawson, CBC News, Salt Spring Island.
After years of extreme weather and crop loss, fruit farmers in the BC interior are rebounding. As Brady Strachan reports, they are exploring new ways of adapting to climate extremes.
Bursting with color and flavor, peaches ripen in the hot Okanagan sunshine.
So these are Glowhaven peach trees.
Vince Kuiper's family has been growing fruit here for 3 generations on the fertile slopes above Okanagan Lake. Just 1 year ago, an extreme winter cold snap wiped out the entire peach crop. This summer, though, his trees are groaning under a bumper harvest.
This year would be one of the best year, I would say, so far.
Across the lake in West Kelowna, customers have a wealth of options at this bustling fruit market, filling their baskets with lush local fruit that just wasn't available last year.
This year, just everything was perfect. It was mild, it wasn't extreme, and we had crops on everything.
The bountiful harvest comes after several years of extreme climate and crop losses in BC, from heat domes that wilted vegetables and tree fruits to winter cold snaps that decimated cherries and wine grapes. As a whole, BC farms haven't turned a profit since 2017. The sector has seen a larger net loss every year since 2020, reaching more than $450 million in losses last year.
It's pretty easy to want to quit when you have these couple of bad seasons in a row, and I think this season has kind of pulled everybody back together again.
But farmers and scientists know this kind of year is rare, so they are preparing for hardships to come.
This is one of the really remarkable training systems here.
Researcher Kirsten Hannum is studying ways of adapting orchards to a changing climate, including the use of retractable shutters that can close to protect trees from hail or intense sunlight.
It's incredibly important to consider climate adaptability, climate resilience in our research projects moving forward.
From research to orchard, this work helps farmers thrive, keeping shelves full of local food.
This is a great lifestyle, and if you can make it work financially, it's fantastic.
Brady Strachan, CBC News, West Kelowna, British Columbia.
After the break, Wessa will have your full BC-wide weather forecast. And as much as we would like to hold on to summer, September is around the corner. As families prepare to get their children back to school, some are worried about expenses piling up. The Surrey School Board is asking for donations as it anticipates more people will need support this year. For more on this, we are joined by Gary Timachek, chair of the Surrey Board of Education. Gary, thanks for joining us.
No, thanks for having me, Baneet.
What are the main expenses that families are struggling to pay right now?
Well, I think families are struggling to pay a variety of expenses, but certainly when it comes to getting ready for back to school for the children in their home, the basic supplies. So things like backpacks, binders, paper, pencils, erasers, glue sticks, you name it, all the basic supplies. That costs on average about $60 just to get it all equipped and send kids back to school. So if a family's got a number of kids, it could add up.
Now, in terms of parents who do need that support, what kind of demand are you seeing this year compared to past years?
The demand is definitely higher than it has been, certainly in part because we're a growing school district, and we're going to, again, the previous September, but also just the economy and just everything that's going on all around us, all around the world right now is those financial pressures on individuals. And therefore, we're seeing that need. So just to put some numbers on that, a year ago, we had requests for about 1,400 backpacks with supplies. And this year, that number has grown to 2,200 already. We didn't have that many more students come into the system. It's just talking about how times are tough out there right now.
And Gary, when you see those numbers increasing, I'm curious, how is the school board supporting families in Surrey?
We will do whatever we can to help families and to make sure that students have the tools that they need to be successful in school, and also the food they need to make sure their minds are functioning properly. We can't do it ourselves. We don't have the money to do it, quite frankly, but we've got wonderful partners throughout the community who are there to help us through this challenge and help with the fundraising of funds and supplies to get us through it.
As you just mentioned, it's not something that Surrey can do alone. What kinds of solutions are you thinking about outside the school board's jurisdiction? Do you see an opportunity for the provincial government to step in with funding?
Well, the provincial government has a program in place in all school districts, and we certainly appreciate that. But the need is greater than what we have, and through the funding we get to provide public education for K through 12, it's just not in that money to be able to provide things like supplies or food. So therefore, we're working, as I mentioned earlier, with partners in the community. There are many out there who help us and are willing to do all sorts of things to raise those funds that are necessary to make sure that kids have the supplies and the food they need to be successful in their educational journey.
And Gary, we might often think about younger students, but wondering if you can speak a bit more about high school students. What kind of financial barriers do they face?
Well, it's really the same thing. I mean, the cost might be a little bit more because they might need a few more supplies, but generally speaking, we're talking about the same sorts of things. For some, I will mention as well, though, I think that we are seeing an increase in the need for personal hygiene products. So things like shampoo and soaps, and of course, feminine hygiene products as well. Those are certainly on the rise, and the need is there to provide those to the high school students as well. But the basic supplies, and in many cases, sometimes food as well, is whether it's in kindergarten or all the way through grade 12, the need is there.
All right, Gary, thank you so much. That again is Gary Timachek, chair of the Surrey Board of Education.
Thank you.
After days of uncertainty and travel chaos for hundreds of thousands of airline passengers, there is now a tentative deal between Air Canada and the union that's representing its flight attendants. That agreement, it still needs to be ratified, but it could set a new precedent for the entire airline industry. Ali Chiasson has the details.
The picketing is over. Parked planes are starting to move again, and so too are Air Canada passengers, although full service isn't expected for another week. After the turmoil, it does appear this new tentative agreement has broken new ground when it comes to ground pay for flight attendants. So far, Air Canada will only tell us
ground pay is settled.
Ensuring that flight attendants are paid for the work they do before and after landing was a major sticking point in contract negotiations.
This has been part of our offer for several months now.
The union had initially wanted 100% compensation, but according to CBC sources, Air Canada has agreed to pay flight attendants 50% of their hourly wage for boarding and cabin checks, and that will increase by 5% each year. Today, CUPE said they'd wait to comment until their members have been fully briefed, but put it this way, quote, unpaid work is over.
We're very optimistic that it's worth taking a look at, and the free labour, free work will become a thing of the past.
Any compensation will be precedent-setting for how flight attendants are paid.
It will be a huge morale boost in addition to, obviously, an increase in the salary.
Does this mean ticket prices will go up to pay for what was bargained? This labour expert says not exactly.
Markets determine prices, not the costs of labor.
As for Jobs Minister Patty Hajdu's statement today, promising a probe into unpaid work after all this?
That's I think, recognizing that the blowback, public sentiment, seemed to be really on the side of flight attendants.
Even after the grounded Air Canada planes are cleared for takeoff, there's another thing still up in the air. Once this tentative deal is settled, will other airlines expect the same compensation for their flight attendants? WestJet's contract is up in December. Ali Chiasson, CBC News, Toronto.
Thousands of travelers are waiting to hear about rebookings and refunds. Sarah Levitt shows us what some are facing and how Air Canada is responding tonight.
There are finally some Air Canada planes back in the skies after a 3-day strike that left hundreds of flights grounded, but many passengers could be stranded for days.
Are you ready?
After taking home 15 awards at the Robo World Cup in South Korea, these kids couldn't wait to get back to Canada to celebrate. 5 days later, and many are still not home.
It's not something like that. We are not 1, 2, or 3 people. We are kind of 40 people here, which is right now we are almost half. We send them, but the stress, the logistic management.
Air Canada has now reached a tentative agreement with its flight attendants union, but members still have to ratify the deal. The contract dispute affected more than 500,000 passengers. The airline warns it could take another week to 10 days to get to full service.
We've got 5,000 Air Canada coworkers mobilized to rebook our customers. We're offering rebookings both now in Air Canada that we're back in the air, as well as 120 other airlines, including our competitors. We're offering customers the ability to change their travel dates with no change fee for up to a year from now. And for those where it's appropriate, we're also offering refunds.
But frustrated travelers say the reality is very different.
Nothing is working. I've not seen a single passenger that has gone to reservation and succeeded to talk to somebody or have someone answered on the other side of the phone.
I looked it up. There's a clause saying that they will rebook with another airline. I just waited in the line for an hour and they told me they can't do that because Air Transit won't give them a good deal.
And can't reach anybody, can't get any information online.
Even travel agents are struggling to rebook passengers.
Right now, we have special phone lines for agents, but I know that there's huge wait times, even for us.
There are some, though, who have had success. This woman has been waiting for 5 days.
At this point, we just got boarding passes to get to Vancouver, so fingers crossed.
And Pierre Poilievre is heading back to Ottawa as a Conservative Member of Parliament. He's won Monday's by-election in rural Alberta. Marina von Stackelberg has more on that and what it means for the future of the Conservative Party.
Pierre Poilievre is heading back to the House of Commons. The Conservative leader easily won a by-election in Battle River Crowfoot with more than 80% of the vote.
I say to all of the people, not just in the great region of Battle River Crowfoot, but right across this country, to anyone who has been knocked down, but has got back up and kept on going, you haven't given up, so I won't give up.
After losing his own Ottawa riding this spring, Poilievre spent this summer door-knocking and hitting the rodeo circuit in rural Alberta. It was a big change from the massive cross-Canada rallies he held during the federal election. Poilievre signaling in his victory speech a new tone.
Conservatives will fight to put Canada first, and we will work with anyone from any party We continue to extend our hand to Mr. Carney and say that we want to work with any party.
This is really the first step toward getting back in the saddle.
Poilievre's former communications director says the by-election had the Conservative leader getting back to basics.
Going through that process, doing that hard work, talking to just regular people and earning their vote one by one, which is how he spent the majority of the by-election time. It is a humbling experience. I think it's a huge asset and very positive.
Poilievre's next fight will be his mandatory leadership review in January. Since he's taken on the job, he's grown the Conservative base. No one has stepped forward to challenge him. Support appears solid.
But it's not a guarantee, because you may have many loyal Conservative voters who said, hang on, you promised us a majority government. You said you were going to bring it home. What happened?
Poilievre returns to Parliament in less than a month. He says he doesn't want to just oppose, but propose his own solutions. That will likely include a push for more resource and pipeline development, an end to Liberal climate policy, and a stronger stance on crime and immigration. Marina von Stackelberg, CBC News, Ottawa.
Statistics Canada says inflation cooled last month, largely thanks to relief at the pumps, but it's not all good news for consumers. As Aaron Collins explains, the cost of groceries continues to spike.
At grocery stores across Canada, a familiar story. The cost to fill carts and cars with groceries on the rise again.
Oh, it's absurd. It's ridiculous.
It's really kind of cut into the variety of things you can have at your table.
It's outrageous. And what are you going to feed your kids? Crap?
No.
Processed food?
Right.
So, you want to buy the good stuff.
Grocery prices rose 3.4% year over year last month, twice as fast as the general rate of inflation. Food like fruit, chocolate, and coffee rising the most.
Those prices have increased quite significantly, and that's just due to supply, demand, weather, a whole bunch of factors that are kind of outside of Canada's control, but unfortunately still affect Canadian consumers.
Coffee prices, which spiked by more than 29%, made worse by U.S. tariffs.
With the tariff situation on the countries, Brazil, for example, is a 50% tariff. It's just causing a lot of uncertainty.
Those tariffs mostly hit prices in big stores where much of the coffee comes from the U.S., leveling the playing field for Canadian coffee roasters who don't import their beans from the States.
Coffee prices are high in the supermarket, but could there be a silver lining for local roasters like yourself?
Absolutely. What I see is it takes away any reason not to try specialty coffee. If lower priced coffee is the same price as specialty, now's the time to give it a chance.
The good news, overall inflation has cooled, driven by lower gas prices after the consumer carbon tax was scrapped.
That's one of the positives that I've seen so far, but hopefully it keeps going down and not up for the winter. So,
a break at the pump, even as the cost of groceries continues to break some budgets. Aaron Collins, CBC News, Calgary.
A new study suggests that babies who are exclusively breastfed are less likely to hit puberty early. But as Christine Birak explains, doctors stress the emphasis should be on helping moms breastfeed and not on judging those who don't.
More kids are starting puberty younger than they used to. Now some researchers say baby formula and weight gain might be part of the reason why.
The worst outcomes were in the girls who had exclusive formula feeding.
A large study done in South Korea involving over 320,000 children found during the first 4 to 6 months of life, breastfeeding was associated with a reduced risk of early onset puberty in boys and girls. Children who received a mix of breast milk and formula showed a slightly higher risk. However, formula-fed girls faced a 60% increased likelihood of early puberty. Boys saw a 16% increase.
A lot of data now is supporting early and longer-term breastfeeding is associated with less fat tissue.
More fat tissue could play a role in determining when puberty begins, but researchers still don't understand exactly how it works in the body. Puberty usually starts around age 8 to 13 for girls and 9 to 14 for boys. Close to or before that age is considered early puberty. Doctors say early puberty can affect kids' social, emotional, and long-term health, including cancer risk. The latest Canadian stats show 91% of parents start out breastfeeding. Less than half of them breastfeed exclusively for at least 6 months.
I tried hard, but it was hard for me.
Honestly, it was just about keeping him fed.
Doctors say the focus shouldn't be on adding more pressure on new moms.
Not breastfeeding your child is not a crime, and it doesn't mean inevitably that there will be problems. It's one factor.
Researchers say lactation support, flexible work schedules, and private spaces can make breastfeeding easier. Small shifts that can lead to lasting impacts on a child's health and development. Christine Birak, CBC News, Toronto.
Okay, it seems like so many things are going electric around us. Toothbrushes, cars, and now planes. After the break, we'll show you how Toronto Pearson Airport is embracing that move.
Wednesdays are officially the best day of the week this summer. CBC Musical Nooners have returned. Free concerts Wednesdays only. Head to cbc.ca/musicalnooners for all the details.
Wesla English is back with your BC-wide weather forecast. Wesla, what are we expecting?
We are going to see Tomorrow will be transition day. So basically we are going to see an upper trough be replaced by an upper ridge. Let's take a look at the satellite and radar to start. Here's a look at what has happened over the past 12 hours. Now there's that southwesterly flow that kept the bands of clouds over many parts of BC today. This flow also generated a few showers through the central interior, the northern interior. Also mid-island saw a few showers, which helped with the firefight there. Here's a look at the precipitation forecast. So again, tomorrow we will see that change. We'll see that upper trough replaced by an upper ridge, and then the showers will linger for parts of BC tomorrow, and then it will dry out by Thursday and then stay dry for almost all areas across BC this weekend. Overnight lows tonight across BC, 14 here in Kelowna. Kula, Whistler, Tofino, and Victoria will bottom out at 11 overnight tonight. Tomorrow, the north coast will see clearing with a mix of sun and cloud. The best chance of showers for Wednesday are for areas in eastern BC. That includes Fort Nelson, Fort St. John, however, as mentioned. You too will dry out as we head into the weekend. Parts of the central interior, including Prince George, will see a risk of a shower tomorrow afternoon. Southern half of BC, sun and a few clouds. We will see a decent chance of a shower, though, for areas near the mountains. That includes Revelstoke and Whistler and Hope. Those areas will also see a slight chance of an afternoon shower. But then by tomorrow afternoon, we will see things clear out. Here in the Okanagan Valley, it will be breezy midday, highs of 26 degrees tomorrow in the Kelowna area. It will be a couple of degrees warmer if you are in Penticton. As we head into the weekend, you can see those temperatures getting into the 30s. For Metro Vancouver, you too will see, in the inland sections, we'll see temperatures close to 30 degrees this weekend. Until then, tomorrow, chance of a shower in the morning for the Vancouver area. We will see clearing in the afternoon. And then Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, Baneet, it will be sunny. And we'll see that warming trend as well. So by the weekend, anywhere between 25 to 30 degrees across the BC South Coast.
All right, seems like those blue skies and a whole lot of sunshine's coming back. Thank you, Wesla. In Atlantic Canada, officials are trying to make more progress tackling multiple wildfires. In Nova Scotia, the Long Lake fire hasn't grown, but it is still out of control. Then in Newfoundland, thousands still face evacuation orders and alerts because of the massive Kingston fire. The CBC's Karen Pauls has details on that.
I'm here on a lookout point just outside Job's Cove on the Avalon Peninsula of Newfoundland. Just behind me, what's known as the Kingston Fire, the province's largest. It's now almost as big as Paris, about 100 square kilometers. Crews have been busy trying to control the flames and hold the perimeter. We got some new numbers today from the province on how many structures have been destroyed so far. More than 200, which could be homes or garages or sheds. Evacuees are being notified about their losses, but that's both complicated and emotional.
People in the reception centres acknowledge that making those calls has been very hard on the staff. We have, as the Premier said, not informed everyone yet of their structures because we have wanted desperately to avoid missteps. It is equally bad to tell someone that their house has gone when it hasn't, as to tell someone that their house is intact when it really isn't. And as I said, the only way of doing this actually is boots on the ground.
There has been some light rain again today, and it's been much cooler. That's slowing down the air suppression a bit, but it's good for the ground crew fighting the fire. About 3,000 people have been forced from their homes because of this Kingston fire. Another 13,000 on evacuation alert, taking what they need with them when they leave their homes, just in case.
I'm still worried. It's not over till it's finally out. And that's a worry that everybody around here has on their mind. When is this going to be over? It's going into the third week now, and it's still not not under control. I hope now that all my family and friends can get back into the homes that are still there.
The province says it could take weeks, even months, before people from some of these affected areas can get back to see the damage. That has implications for students heading back to school in a few weeks and for people looking for places to live as winter approaches. Karen Pauls, CBC News near Job's Cove, Newfoundland.
If you are in the Toronto area, you may see something new in the sky above you. The city's Island Airport, just south of the downtown core, now has technology to support a new type of aircraft. Greg Ross shows us that.
Oh, there. It's not unusual to see small aircraft like this flying over the downtown core,
But this plane may actually be the start of a new era of aviation in Toronto. It's fully electric.
Basically, we are enabling the cleaner, greener, quieter airport that we all envision.
Nicholas Papalardo is the CEO of a company called Stollport. They oversee a number of services at Billy Bishop Airport, like parking and ferry service. They also provide fuel for gas-powered aircraft. They will have the capability to power electric planes after purchasing Canada's first Beta Mini Cube charger.
This charger enables us to be on the map on the charging network to provide the electricity for those aircraft for their journey.
The charger is from an aerospace company called Beta Technologies. They're in the process of manufacturing electric planes, which can now fly into Toronto's Island Airport. Beta has a cargo-first approach.
With a platform like this, we can be transporting cargo between Hamilton or Toronto Pearson right into the heart of downtown.
Beta is also developing electric aircraft that will be capable of vertical takeoff and landing, similar to a helicopter. They will be able to land in small spaces, like the rooftop of a hospital or in a rural community that doesn't have access to an airport.
We'll be able to connect rural communities with the broader, all of Canada. So we see the opportunity to deliver medical applications, whether that's medical cargo or doctor movement or patient transfer, all across Ontario and beyond.
The new Beta Mini Cube charger also has the capability to charge electric vehicles used by airport staff. Greg Ross, CBC News, Toronto.
More than 100 years of history on the move. How a historic Swedish landmark is being relocated to a new home. That's coming up.
I think it's important to give a human face to the stories that we hear every day, the people that they affect. And I think talking to those people is what really gives us the true sense of the impact of the stories that we're hearing.
Hi, I'm Amy Bell, and here's what's in your CBC inbox.
CBC is proud to partner with the Dr. Peter Centre for their annual Life Commitment Gala, an evening honoring Dr. Peter Jepson Young. For more information, visit drpeter.org. And the Northern Super League is back at Swangard Stadium as Vancouver Rise takes on Montreal Roses on Saturday, August 30th. Come by the CBC tent and share your soccer stories for a chance to win some great prizes.
A historic landmark in Sweden's far north is on the move, and it offers a very different meaning to the term the weight of the church. This 113-year-old church, weighing about 600 tons, is headed to a brand new home. This is all part of a 30-year project to relocate the buildings and thousands of residents in the old city center of Kiruna. That's because of a massive iron ore mine that's nearby, which is planning to expand. And over the years, residents have already noticed cracks in buildings and roads. So to prevent the town from being swallowed up, the new city center is 5 kilometers down the road. That is a 2-day journey for the lumbering church on a very certain different kind of built trailer moving at about 500 meters per hour. So a very slow process there. But thank you for being with us tonight on CBC Vancouver News at 6. You can watch this newscast on CBC Gem, our free app, and as well on YouTube and, of course, our website, that's cbc.ca/BC. I'll have your next local news at 11 o'clock. That is right after the National. Have a good night.